Hi everyone, this is Emily with Moms with Cameras, and I'm so excited to be sharing with you on Photo Talk Forum. It's an amazing site. I love Photo Talk Forum, so I'm really thrilled to be here. Today, I want to tell you 5 things you can do to improve your business before 2013. So in the next couple of weeks, before that ball drops on New Year's Eve, here are 5 little strategies you can implement that can kick your business off for the better in 2013. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is making the commitment to nailing it in camera. And the reason for this is well beyond the fact that it shows professional technical skill. What it's really about is time. And in our studios, we can spend time on money-making activities, so things that bring revenue into the studio. So shooting, marketing, selling, all of those things will bring us money. On the other end, you have everything else. And so what I'm wanting to do is minimize that everything else time so that you have maximum time for the money-making activities. So think about this. If you nail an image in camera, you nail your composition, you nail your exposure, you've got the white balance right, all of it looks good, and all you have to do on the back end is maybe, retouch out a couple blemishes, smooth some skin, and sharpen, and send it on its way. Let's say that that takes you 1 minute. On the flip side, let's say that you have to go back in and you need to do major cropping because your composition was wrong. You need to fix your exposure because you were off by a stop and a half. You didn't custom white balance, so now you need to dink around with that. All of that is going to take additional time. Let's say that it takes you 5 minutes. Well, you don't get paid any differently for that print, whether you spent 1 minute on it or 5 minutes on it. So you are now making 1/5 as much time-wise on that image than you were if you could have nailed it in camera and just sent it on its way. So making that commitment to getting it right when you take the image is going to save you a lot of post-production time and is going to make your studio more maximally profitable. So the next thing that you can do in the next couple of weeks is form a club. And yes, I mean the exclusive second grade style thing. So what you're going to do is reach out to several businesses in your community that you would really like to form a relationship with and tell them, I am interested in setting up a club. It is going to be, or a group, it is going to be a group of a few of us. It's going to be invitation only. It's exclusive. So for example, in the one that I have, if we have one type of business, then another business owner from the same type of business cannot join. So we have a spa owner. We do not have another spa owner in this group. And we're going to get together, have coffee, talk about what's going on in our businesses, and see if there are any ways that we can create some synergy, that we can work together to make everyone's businesses better. So it's a very low-key invitation. It's a very low-key way to form these relationships. I'm not knocking on their door and saying, hey there, I would really love to ride on your coattails and send a mailing to your list. It's not that type of thing. It's saying I want to create some community. Then once that community is in place, then we can start talking about, well, hey, you spa owner, you're going to be doing this Mother's Day promotion. What if we team up and anybody who purchases a full day of treatments from you also receives a $100 gift certificate to my studio? That's an added value for that, daddy who is buying this day of treatments for his wife, and it makes that spa owner look really great. And so then she is likely to say, that's a fantastic idea. And then I can say, well, what can I do for you? And let's talk about, what I have coming up and how we can get you some more exposure. So this club is a way to keep everything low key. Mine is a group, it's 4 of us. It's very small. There's 4 of us. We are looking maybe to grow to 6 maximum because we do want to keep it intimate. We want to keep it small. And it is all women business owners in my community, so all of us are ladies, and we all own businesses that target high-end women. So it's a very cohesive club. We have the same demographic, and it works really wonderfully. We've enjoyed it very much, and we only meet every other month, so it's not, this huge commitment. You don't have to see them every week, but it's a way for us to kind of keep in touch and to form relationships, and then work on how we can use our businesses to benefit others and vice versa. So now the thing that I want you to do after that is to set up a liability account. And some of you may be wondering what I mean by that. I do not mean an account where I'm going to sock money away in case something awful happens and I need to pay for it. That's what insurance is for. And if you haven't done that, if you don't have business insurance, then I'm going to say make it 6 things you can do to improve your business and tack that one on to the end of this program. Go get your insurance. But this is an account for when somebody pays for a product or service from you and you're not ready to render it yet. So a great example would be for wedding photographers. If you have a client that comes in, they book you for their wedding, they put down your deposit, you're not going to have done any work for them yet. There will be no products going out. But eventually you're going to need to potentially, purchase the wall portrait that they're going to display at the wedding from their engagement session. You're going to need to order the album, all of those kinds of things. If you have all of this money in the bank and you look at your bank account and you go, oh wow, I have, thousands of dollars, and it's because you have several deposits sitting in there and maybe you collect the balance due. Like I know when I photographed weddings, I collected the balance due a month before the wedding, so I would have, several $1,000s coming from that client, but their album wouldn't be purchased until maybe a month after the wedding. So there was this 2-month window in there. What you don't want to do is look at your bank account and go, wow, I'm rolling in it. I'm doing great. I'm going to do this really big promotion, or I'm going to purchase this new piece of gear, whatever it is that you think you have the money for. And then when the time comes that you need to produce that album, you realize, oh my gosh, I have no money. And so that I see happen more with wedding photographers than any others, but I can see that happening with baby planners. Like maybe they've paid at the very beginning of the baby plan, but then they are going to be receiving product at the end of it. So set up this account, and it's where you're going to put the money that you need to have in the future to meet your commitments. Another place or another thing that you might want to use this for is something like sales taxes. You're collecting those sales taxes, but they're not rightfully yours. You're not going to be able to use that money. You need to turn it over to the government. So you'll take those sales taxes and then suck that into that liability account. So whether you're paying, like I know when I lived in Texas, we paid quarterly, which is kind of awful if you think about it, because you're collecting, and you might forget, oh, I'm going to owe $6,000 in sales taxes here soon. So you need to kind of keep that separate. So when that bill comes, you can say, here you go, here's the money that I've collected, and it's not coming out of what you were needing to run your studio. Okay, so in my studio, selling large wall portraits is definitely my bread and butter. It's where I make most of my money. It's how I keep my average high. But to be honest, that's not the way it used to be. I used to have an order that was, 16 8x10. They were all of different images, so the client could have, one of every pose, and we do lots of retouching for a really crummy average, and it made me want to poke my eyes out. So what I did is I wanted to shift that mentality, and while other factors also came into play in encouraging my clients to order wall pieces, one of the strategies that I used was a pricing strategy, and it went like this. My old price for my small prints became the promotional price, the special pricing that clients paid when they ordered wall pieces. And then if they didn't order wall pieces, my smaller prints went up significantly in price to the quote-unquote regular pricing for these small prints. So here's what I mean. Let's pretend that your 8x10s are $30, that you're selling them for $30 right now. Your 8x10s are now going to go up to something significantly higher. So let's say you double it. They are now $60. Your client can purchase 8x10s only, and they can do that at your regular print pricing. So if a client walks in, they want to buy an 8x10 and nothing else, it's $60. However, with the purchase of a wall portrait, and it can be whatever size you want to start those at. In my studio, they started at 11x14. They're treated differently than our smaller prints. They have, masonite and they're linen finish and all of that type of thing. Some studios, it's that 16x14 mark. So wherever your wall portrait mark begins, with the purchase of one of those, your smaller print price drops down to that promotional or special pricing. And our product guide, it said special price. So with the purchase of a wall portrait, it's $30. Without, it's the regular price of $60. This creates the incentive for your clients to now seriously look at those wall pieces. And when I tell them, you know, something like, yeah, a lot of our clients do, they order their wall piece and then they're really happy to be able to take advantage of that special pricing for all of the images that they're going to be giving to family and friends. So it tells them, you are going to keep this wall piece, those smaller prints are for giving away. So if you are struggling with selling a lot of small prints and not wall portraits, look for ways that you can incentivize your clients to order those wall pieces. And one of the ways you can do that is by raising those prices on the smaller prints and then offering it at your old price, which is now the special pricing, with that wall piece. So another thing that I did to really help my studio sell more wall pieces was I created something that we call a viewing kit, and it's because we call our appointments for selecting your images a viewing appointment. But whatever you call it, it could be an ordering kit, although I don't love the word order. It can be a preparation kit. It can be whatever you'd like to call it. We typically refer to it as your homework. We give it to clients. We hand it to them and say, here's your homework. Please do it. And so what's in it is there is a thank you note, of course, where I scribble, thanks so much for choosing me. It was so great working with your family. And then I tell them, you know, these images are going to look so great hanging in your home. I can't wait to work with you on what we're going to create. And then it also includes a measuring tape. It includes some business cards, includes some candy. And I always tell them, you know, here's your homework, but there's candy to sweeten the deal in there. And then it's their little reward for doing it. And then it has the important piece is this card. And in this card is space to record all of their measurements. So if I know we're working on a canvas collection to go above their mantle, then I want to know how wide across is the mantle, how tall is that ceiling, where does the mantle start from the floor. So I need those measurements from them. And I also have instructions for them on how to take a photo of the space in which we'll be displaying their portraits. So I tell them, you know, send this to me, send me your measurements. If you can't send me the images, at least come with your measurements. And then it also has spaces in which they can write down like who we're purchasing gift prints for, what type of album they liked when they came in and did their consultation, if they, you know, to think about like where they would be storing their digital files if they're going to use them for archiving, and we do offer those as a purchase in addition to other products in our studio. So all of these kind of questions to prepare them, and what it's really doing is saying, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be doing wall pieces, we're potentially going to be doing an album, we're potentially going to be doing digital files, and we're going to be doing images for family and friends. So it kind of mentally prepares them for what are we going to be ordering. You know, check in with them and make sure that they're bringing that viewing kit in with them for the appointment. Almost all of them do come in with their measurements, and so it makes my viewing appointments a breeze. By the time we've done the consultation in the session and they've done this, then it is literally just kind of filling in the spaces. So, okay, this is the mantle, this is the size, here are the pieces that I've created for you, and 9 times out of 10, it's a yes, that works perfectly. So consider putting together a little bag for your clients. You'll have had your consultation with them, you'll have done your session, and then as soon as the session is over, as they're getting in their car to leave, you'll just hand them this kit and tell them, I have some homework for you. It's going to make it very easy when we're sitting down working on what to do with your images. It'll give us the information that we need to make those decisions and be really confident that what we're putting on your walls is going to look great. So just make sure you bring this in when you come back and we'll be good to go. Okay, so I would love to connect with you if that's something you'd like to do. And if you are trying to find me, you can just send me an email to emily@emilypotts.com. If you have any questions, you can tweet at me at Moms with Cameras, or check us out on Facebook. It's just Moms with Cameras when you're at Facebook. And I want to give very special thanks to Photo Talk Forum. I love this forum. I absolutely love Lori Nordstrom. I think she puts out just amazing education and amazing resources for photographers. So we are so thrilled to have been a part of this year's 12 days. And I wish everyone a wonderful end of the year. And I hope that this video, the tips included in it, help you start 2013 off with a huge bang. Thanks so much and have a great day, everyone.